right, so here we are in Dynamics GP, and to get started, we're going to look at Invoice Capture. Now, this is a standalone product. It does not have to be connected with the Payment Hub, but if it is, of course, it makes a great end-to-end process. So in dealing with your invoices, you'll have your vendors send them into a dedicated inbox where the AI technology will read the information, attach the invoice, and pull it into Dynamics GP here into this invoice capture validation window. So here we see several invoices from different vendors. And if we look at one here, we see that it attached a PDF as well as the body of the email. If I double click, it will automatically bring up the invoice that I need to look at and verify. And it will give me a window here where I can add some additional information. We do not have three-way matching or PO matching, but if there is a PO involved, you can put that information here, as well as a better description of what this is about. On this window, since it's pulled in the vendor, it is giving us the payment terms, and those are already set. Now, if we hit process, it takes us to the transaction entry window, where here we can change the payment terms if needed, or look at the distribution under this tab. So as an AP clerk, they could make some changes or adjustments before submitting for approval to the invoice approver. Now, in order to send this through the workflow, we do need to assign a batch. So I'll go ahead and do that here. And then I can go ahead and hit submit. Now, it will allow me to put in an additional comment if I want to. So anything I want to say specifically about this to the invoice approver, I can do that. All right, now that it's been submitted, we can close this window and it's going to bring us back to the validation window, and we can see that it's been removed. Now, let's talk a little bit about the other features on this window. So I could have assigned a batch here, and that would have gotten assigned to all of the vouchers as I go through this process. Now, as you're looking at all of these invoices here, once you have used the AI technology for a while, it will start to get very familiar with your vendors and where they put their information on their invoices, and everything's going to link up properly. And so when that happens, you'll start getting a lot of invoices like this from different vendors that all the information looks correct, and you feel pretty confident that the AI has read it all properly. And in that case, you do have the ability to highlight them all and hit process under the action, and then it'll bring them all into the transaction entry window where you can still view the attachments and add information and do all of that. It's just a little bit quicker process when you're able to go through it like that. You also might notice on this very first one that there is a triangle. Now, this one's not being able to be selected because it's saying there's an issue. And a couple of things that can come up. If it's a new vendor, it may not have automatically selected the vendor ID because it's not familiar with it yet. So if this had been blank, the error would probably be that it wasn't able to find it. Doesn't mean that that vendor's not in your system. They may very well be there, and you just need to link them up that first time. And then from then on, it will learn. In this particular case, it found the vendor, but it's still saying there's an error. And the reason for that is because it found that the document number was a duplicate. So what you'd want to do there is hop over to transaction by document, pull that number up, verify that sure enough, this had been an invoice already submitted by that vendor, and this was a duplicate. So then in that case, you would just right click on here and disregard. So that one's not going to get processed through. So I'm going to go ahead and send these through like we talked about. So all at once, I'm going to hit actions and process. I'm sure I want to do that. And then it's going to create those transaction entry. It's going to also give me a report that I can look at. So all of the ones that it created a transaction entry for, I can see those there. And now I can just backspace and submit them through the workflow. So I can go ahead and submit, put any comments. So I'm gonna do that for a couple of these. So then we can move on to the next process, which would be to show you what mobile workflows is going to look like.